Hey friends, today we're going to learn about how to get from the melody to the chords and different things that you can do to get from the melody to the chords on the next beat. A lot of times in bluegrass jams, as a banjo player, you get to lead off and play the tune, and then after your time through the tune is done, as it goes around the circle in the jam, your job is to play accompaniment, backup. And for our purposes here, we're going to call our backup boom chucks, which is just going to be the chords on the beats as it goes through. So no rolling back up or anything like that. This is just to help you get from point A to point B as you transition from chords to melody. And the tune that we're going to use is a familiar tune to everyone, beginners and advanced alike, Cripple Creek. So I'm going to play through Cripple Creek, and then I'm going to, on the next beat, as the tune concludes, land on the G chord that I want to use for my boom chucks or accompaniment. And then we're going to kind of talk about different ways you can do that more effectively. So here's Cripple Creek. And there's our chord. So as soon as we come out of, we hit the chord change. Now, I know some of you folks out there may find it difficult to just land on the chord. I know I'm making it look easy. Let's say you already know how to play Cripple Creek and you can kill it and it's no problem. But then as soon as you have to end the melody and try to get to the chords is when everything falls apart and you lose the beat and all that. Here's a thing you can do to kind of set yourself up. Obviously, playing the song a lot down, even though you can play it faster, try and slow things down just to give yourself a chance so you can feel what it's like. Then speed it up. Speeding it up is the easy part. Getting it on the beat is the hard part. So at the end of Cripple Creek, we do this. And then we land on the beat. That's the next downbeat. So my advice would be to just loop that section. Just play the ending, the very last thing that you do, the last couple of measures of the tune, and then get on there and loop it back and forth so it looks like this. And if you can't get it right there on the next beat, slow it down even more. It's okay if it's really, really slow, like turtle crawling across the grass slow, because you want to make sure that you can hit it on the beat. It's more important to be in time than it is to be fast at first. And so that's all well and good, but what about the physical act of actually putting your fingers on the fretboard to get to the right place at the right time? Well, you'll notice that as we come out of the melody into the chord, the downbeat happens here. A lot of times people want to plant their fingers in this order. And so that doesn't help you when you're trying to land on the downbeat, which is on this note, on this B of the G chord. So if you can land these two fingers before you land these fingers, if they have to be staggered like that, eventually you're going to learn how to just put them down all at once. And so you should be practicing towards that goal rather than only relying on one at a time, because that's only going to get you so far when things speed up. As you come out of this, so I very carefully put these down in this order. Now, if you're a right-handed player, even a left-handed player, your entire life your left hand hasn't been in charge of anything until now. And not only that, but these two fingers on your left hand are even more in charge, which haven't done anything up to this point. So trying to get them down on the beat and then forming the chord around it at first is going to get you there. Because once you hit it, then you can change chords. And I realize that it is sometimes difficult to change chords, to switch these two fingers as you change from G to C to D up the neck. But that's another thing that you can work on as well. If you feel like, all right, no problem, I can get from point A to point B and then hit the chord, the hard part becomes this. So the same thing applies. These two are in charge. So they move first and then the switch happens, so that you're not trying to tangle your fingers up and then replant everything. And when I was learning how to do this, this finger would fly away a lot of the time. So sometimes I'd have to hold it. So do what you have to do to hold, to make sure that you can get from one chord to the next. But the main thing is that you're able to do everything on the beat. So, like I said, the main thing to keep in mind with this is to slow down so that you can get to where you need to go when you're getting there on the next beat. That will get you really far when it comes to jam time. This way you don't lose any steps, you don't lose the beat, and you can kind of keep the tune going, because when it comes back around to you again, same process starts over again. So try that technique where you just loop the end phrase of whatever song it is and try to plant these two fingers, or at least this one first, if you have to stagger them, until you can get the whole chord planted at once. And your transition from melody to chords will go a lot smoother, particularly if you just dial in on that transitional aspect to it. Leaving the chords to go to the melody is oftentimes much easier, because you're letting go and then going back to a familiar place. So try to make the unfamiliar familiar as you go from chords, or from melody into chords, and you'll find that it's much easier over time as you speed things up.